well, he works at night, but before I slept like a log. Now, even though I'm comfortable, far more than I was in the Richmond location, I'm awake a little bit. There's an adjustment period, and that's what I think we're still doing. There's a lack of familiarity. I have nice things around me, and that's okay, so I'm better. But it's not familiar. I know when I was in Richmond, I would get up in the middle of the night quite often and wonder where I was because nothing was really familiar. I was wondering why these things were here, you know. I would be looking for my things, and then it would dawn on me. It was not. I was not comfortable, but I'm a lot better now. I feel I'm getting used to it, and I've been doing things now that I'm here in this location that, or like getting my furnishings together, kind of deciding the housing style I want to have, or furniture style. Something I think it's a long time. I couldn't just run out and buy things just to have them because I have particular taste. And
well, frankly, I've had a ball. We've done a lot of things. We had activity. We did things after the fire and so forth. So, you know, our lifestyle didn't change that much, except we didn't have our own place and all of the stuff we had accumulated. Other than that, I don't see where our lifestyle changed. Parties, dinner, and this sort of thing.
Yeah, I think we were
so
kind
I just
of
never dwelled on it that much.
Hit the ground running and never have really stopped. And I think that was the expectation of our friends. And that can be exhausting sometimes.
Yeah.
But essentially that is what we did and have been doing. People really don't want to they don't want you to have the feeling that you're not happy or whatever. So you have to be happy whether you are or not. Which I think sometimes is slightly unrealistic. So we handled that well, I feel. And the good thing about it was when we were attending the fire group, the fact that I was unhappy, I was able to say so on the days that I wasn't happy. But I wasn't able, and I'm not able to do that, I feel, with my black friends. I don't think I am, because they don't mind telling me about their unhappiness, but they don't want to hear about mine. And I feel that. I don't know if that's a woman's thing or not. I don't know. I really don't know. But I do know it's not comfortable when I'm talking about the fire with people because their eyes glaze over. So I have sensitive to, hey, this is a topic.
Well, many people probably think it ought to be over, and
they do.
Because there are several,
they thought that after
many
like a
things
week
have
or
happened. Yeah, many things have happened since that 1991 fire deal with us. As I said, life goes on, and other people have had problems and so forth. So I just feel people are not going to spend 5 years dealing with our problems, and we have to realize that.
How do you think the fire has changed your life in the sense that here you are up in this place where you are afraid of moving up here?
Yeah.
I mean, do you look at things differently in the sense that
that if a fire comes this time, damn it, we'll be burned up for sure. We're in worse trouble than we've ever been in before up in this fire area. And you kind of think you'd be some total nut to come back in an area like this having been burned. No, that's for sure. Really, Now that's been realistic to it, Yeah. Now how would I get out of here?
There are two ways out. There's several ways
you're
out.
Right. If the good Lord doesn't take you out, you're in tough trouble, I tell you. Because nobody else can get you out.
But this is a beautiful home, though. It's beautiful up there. I'm just thinking that,
Well, I'm very conscious. I'm very conscious of smoke. I'm very conscious of. I have a game plan constantly. I'm very aware.
I got one too. Pray. Yeah. There's nothing else.
You can run out. You can get out. People got out. You can get out. You will get out. There will be ways out. In this community, they were terrified of the fire. It didn't reach over here. It didn't reach this far. But we're near the Lawrenceburg Lab. That's a community within itself. It has its own fire protective mechanism. The forestry department is right there too. So I know there's a way out. I'm not afraid. It would be a long way out. It would be longer than it was before, and it'll be a lot riskier.
It's a lot easier getting out of Parkwoods than getting out of here, I can assure you.
Yeah,
Because, the other couple I spoke to live on the 30th floor in the Emeryville Apartments over there, and I asked them the same question because that's 30 flights
Yeah.
upstairs that you have to deal with.
That building just off 580,
Mm-hmm.
they too better pray.
You mean off of 80?
Building.
Yeah.
80 rather, yeah.
Well, I think basically all of us have kind of, you are who you are. So certain things you just don't relinquish.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a person who enjoys nature, and I enjoy the beauty of it. And I've always never burned.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't, I don't feel that it was the fault of the trees. I don't think I should deny myself what I like because of something man has done.
Mm-hmm. But, I guess I was trying to just say that to some degree you must have overcome some of it, because some people get very paranoid and want to live on the flatlands and then major highways on the ground, and maybe
I think
maybe you have.
We're not,
You either
we
go
were
to the
never,
flatlands and get shot, or you can come from the hills and get burned out.
that's
But
about
those-
what your choices.
Yeah.
I love my brothers, but they will shoot at you in the flatlands. And I'm not, I'm a real brother, believe me, but I just...
It would never occur to, that's one of the difficulties I had with living in the Richmond location, is because it was flat and no trees. Just let it ring, because, we have the answering machine on. Oh, while you're up here.
Well, okay. Well, the final thing is this: if there's anything you'd like to add that I haven't asked you about.
I think you asked, I don't know how adequately you answered it, about do you think it has been more stress or rough on us as African Americans? I think that part reflects the American society, But I must admit that in terms of assistance we've received and so forth, it's hard for me to determine that. I can give my standard answer about Afro-Americans' life, who is not as easy as white America. But at this point, I really don't know.
I think we were treated.
And I know quite often it's very easy to say that, to blanket and say, well, yeah, you're Afro-Americans, and it's rough on us than anybody else. I couldn't answer that truthfully, because I don't know. I know in terms of, on my own job, in the probation department, and this scatters over San Mateo County, some of the people were extremely nice in terms of $25 or $10 sending, a lot of my coworkers I didn't even know, and so forth. And from that standpoint, I think, it would be hard for me to say that we were under greater stress than anybody else.
I don't think that we were. We know a Caucasian young lady who was in our building.
Mm-hmm.
She works for Chevron. Her job gave her money, just as his job did. His job gave him more. So I think we were treated well. I think there was a great, tremendous outpouring for people involved in fire. We mentioned to total strangers that we were involved in fire, and we were given things. Went out to dinner.
You're surprised about the dinner business, and I know this is going on here. And sometimes we don't always want to be truthful about ourselves as African Americans, And this comes from the culture that we've been brought up under, I'm sure. But a lot of my black friends that I'd been dealing with, getting my hair cut and other stuff like this, they prayed for me. Many of the other people made a financial contribution. Now, I know as Afro-Americans, we feel that prayer solves everything. But $1 at a cash register,
Helps
it's
a lot.
something that, yes.
So I really honestly feel that we were treated fairly, and that we didn't experience anything untoward, primarily because of where we were located and essentially who we are, because we deal with a certain caliber of people. So I didn't feel anything negative about the way I was treated in relationship to them. One more, from my point of view, from black people than from the other side, because the other side, immediately following the fire and for many months thereafter. I think black people experience bad things so often that this is just one more thing, and like just get on with it. That's really the attitude that I feel that I experience, because I think it's somewhat his attitude, and like it's an expression I grew to dislike, because I felt that we never stopped getting on with it. And it's something you have to do. You wake up, you go to bed, whatever. You're always getting on. So you didn't have to be told to do that. You were doing it. You had to continue doing something every day, and we did. I did. It wasn't a day I wasn't doing something. And I
Well, that was
ever
part
stopped.
of it too. I worked. My income continued, and I'm sure if I was not, didn't have an income from my employment, that would have been rough. Family and friends alike. It was money. But here again, when you have to replace all of this stuff, it takes money.
Difficult to
Replacement money
figure out where
is
to
something
start,
else,
too.
So, from what we were given,
Hard to figure out where to start.
yeah, you got to have clothes, and the basic necessities. In order for me to go to work each day, I had to have clothes and this sort of thing. So initially, we just had to spend money, even our own money we had to spend. After the first day, the people we live with, my dear friends now who are in Detroit, bought us underwear and stuff like this, Because everything was gone, yeah. Had one pair of underwear.
The ones we had on.
Yeah. I too had put on a pair of old shoes with a hole in them. That's what I came out with.
The
A
worst
corduroy
jacket he owns.
jacket, which is 23 years old, which I still keep. I must show it to you, because I would forever keep it. I'm afraid now if I get it clean, it just fall in the dust, But those were we just had to, start over from scratch. That first day meant that you just start over from scratch. You have nothing, because everything's gone.
I was devastated, really. And when there are times when I feel that for me where I'm not unhappy, but I guess it's sort of just sorrow.
Yeah.
Probably a better word is grieving, because it's like losing a family member or something.
Well,
That's the way it feels to me.
But on the other hand, too, and I don't want to get all sentimental and so forth, when I do look back on October 20th, 1991, and see all of the stuff we've been through, and here I am sitting here tonight. I've lost some friends who didn't get burned out, but they're no longer here tonight. I have friends now. One dear friend that we stayed with is in the hospital in Detroit now, trying to walk.